Live now. All right, so there she is. So we are going to discuss the hypocrite, hypocritical
Hypocritical,
culture. Yeah, yeah, hypocritical culture of the Jehovah Witness.
the
and Penny said
hypocritical oath of Jehovah's Witness.
Penny said she about to go way back.
Not the Hippocratic oath of physicians, but
Yeah, yeah.
the hypocritical oath of Jehovah's
Not theocratic, not hypocritical. Well, hypocritical. Like it's theocratic and hypocrite together. Yeah. So yeah. So yeah. So Penny said she about to go in the archives and pull out some experiences.
Witness. I am an archive. What are you talking about?
Yeah. So you going back? Are you? Is this pre 1914 or is this after? Is this pre 1914? So we got two
No, that's
people in the
getting below
room.
the belt.
All right. So I got a couple lined up. But I'll let you go first. Did you see any hypocritical policies or actions within the organization you in? I've seen some, but as a witness, as a fair witness, I just kind of pushing off the wayside and said I'll just wait for Jehovah to change it.
Do you have enough water?
Yeah, yeah. This is yeah. It's gonna yeah. It's gonna cleanse my mind. Yes,
Because
yes.
I have a little glass of nothing here.
Oh, I will pour you. I will
Can you
pour you
fill some up,
some. I
please?
will pour you some. But yeah, yeah. Let me see if I can pour you some. I don't wanna mess my computer up. So
Mm.
we got somebody. I don't know who's in the room. We got one person in the room. So yeah, did you notice when you went? Did you notice any hypocritical policies or um?
Well, I have to refocus. Um, yes. Now, mind you, what I have to do is use my younger brain and convert it into um, my adult self. And what I saw when I was a kid, you don't really see as hypocritical. You just see it as maybe strange. And what what I used to see is it was usually with between adults and children. So um, when uh, when adults would, you know, they were a different personality
Mhm.
um, in front of a householder's door than when they were just
Huh?
maybe say at the book study or something, right?
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, give me an example. Like, give me some the fakeness of when you was at the door, like some of the fakeness you seen.
Well, okay. So um, let's pick on the elders because they're the ones that are the shepherds, right?
Yeah,
So I remember an elder not in the congregation I grew up in,
yeah,
but one late in my 30s in the in northern Ontario.
yeah.
He professed to be a 144K member,
Hmm.
and he was also the presiding overseer. And he wouldn't go and make a call with anybody except himself.
Mm.
So
Mm-hmm.
when we'd go out in service, he would take his own calls
Hmm.
and go only by himself.
Hmm.
But
Yeah.
he would be the one to tell everybody that we had to go in twos.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I usually know somebody like that. They only go on service. Like, you think he was really going to service, or he would just go home and just because he didn't want nobody to know, he just went home. You know what I'm saying? You think that was it?
He begged off.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. He said I'm going on this call, but he just went home. He didn't feel like going out. So
He,
there's no reason. You need somebody a partner. They always encourage partners. So
well, this one particular elder, it turns out that he was responsible for some some let's say unfair business practices when even according to the world standards.
Hmm.
He owned a crane business.
Mm-hmm.
He was a crane operator, and he sold his crane business, and he was known for an unethical business transaction, apparently. So
Yeah. Wow. And he's supposed to be 144,000, huh?
yes, he was. So I was speaking with another former JW who said his father claimed that he was 144K.
Hmm.
He didn't go out. He would make return visits on people by himself also.
Mm.
So up north, I know that it's Freemason territory, right?
Mm-hmm.
So, and it's because and they are small towns, so everybody knows everybody.
Mm-hmm.
But I think they try to keep a certain amount of secrecy, of course.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, he would go to the Christadelphian minister.
Yeah.
I don't know why he would talk to him, but anyways, he would go and from time to time talk to them for some reason.
Mm. Yeah.
And all the religious leaders in that region would have a say in what's going on,
Mm-hmm.
as I understand it now.
Mm. Yeah, they kind of similar. Christadelphian and Jehovah's Witnesses are kind of similar in their doctrine a little bit. I noticed that when I looked them up. They kind of come from the same. They doctrine is kind of similar. You know, the no hellfire and the soul seed, kind of similar into it. But speaking of going out in service and hypocrisy, you ever see the governing body go out in service? It's kind of like they encourage us to go out in service, but you never see any article with a governing body member going door to door.
Well,
You never hear.
strangely enough, there was an elderly man who professed to be 144K
Hmm.
when I was just a child, and he was French. He didn't speak a lot of English, but he was a very gentle man and very kind, and he
Mm,
went out in service.
mm,
I remember him. But this other elder from, like I said, went to on calls on his own.
yeah.
He was very arrogant
Mm,
and kind of full of himself.
hmm. Yeah. No, I'm talking about the
And
I know some 140,000 go. I'm talking about the governing body, the Stephen Letts and Jeffrey Jacksons and things. They don't
yeah,
go out door to door, but they'll push that on us and they'll try to make us feel guilty, and that's kind of hypocritical. You know what I'm saying? They don't get their time going door to door. They get their time going to different circuits or regions giving talks. You know, and that's one of the hypocritical things I've noticed also. I never seen an article or anything in your book of a governing body member going door to door. I always get an experience of them going to different countries and that, but never experienced going door to door. I'm pretty sure they would hop on that if they actually did go door to door.
well, take a look and see where you'll find Mark Sanderson.
Huh?
Mark Sanderson was in Russia, was he not?
Hmm. Yeah, yeah, at the court. Yeah, yeah.
So that was his jurisdiction.
Mm. But
That's
he
his
go.
service.
Yeah, but he didn't go door to door though.
No,
Yeah.
no, no. I have never seen anything, but this would be his governing body service,
Mm.
slave service,
Yeah.
is going and making an appearance, say in the court in Russia.
Hmm. Yeah. So yeah, but then but then us, if we were to go out there in Russia and spend time, and they ask us what service did we do, it's like, oh, you mean you didn't do any witnessing out there? You know what I'm saying? You didn't do any witnesses while you out there in Russia? He didn't do no witnessing. All he did was sit in that courtroom, come back and report on that podcast of how the witnesses are being persecuted. Speaking of when you was talking about the guy that went out by himself, I knew a guy in my hall did that. He would come to service and then he say, "I'm going out by myself." He go right to McDonald's, get him a coffee, and read the Watchtower. and he would hope somebody come ask him what he reading so he could witness that way. But he never really liked going door to door. His door to door was going to out to McDonald's and hope somebody incidentally asked him what he reads so he could witness there.
That
Anytime he
was
got a
his
yeah,
incidental service.
yeah. And anytime he got a Bible study, he always turned it over. He never took the Bible study. He always turned it over to somebody else. But that's what you when you said that guy he always wanted to go by himself. That's what I think he did. He would go out by himself somewhere where he didn't have to go door to door. He would just hope someone would something easy, kind of like give a gas station attendant a magazine or something easy, but it wasn't really door to door. You know what I'm saying?
Well, he was a business guy, so he had to keep face. He had to you know keep up
Yeah.
appearances and make the you know people in his
Hmm.
community respect him somehow.
Yeah, exactly. So what about the holidays? They're not saying that we as witnesses couldn't do holidays because they why they say we couldn't do holidays?
Well, it would depend on the holiday, of course, but
Yeah, well let's say Christmas or Easter.
well, Easter is Jesus' resurrection, so we don't have anything to do with that, do we?
Yeah, yeah. Well, like, why couldn't we do say like yeah, like a Easter or Christmas? What was the principle behind us witnesses not doing that thing or hanging up a Christmas tree or you know what I'm saying, going Easter egg hunt? What were the reason we wouldn't do that?
Well, the Christmas tree was supposed to be a pagan symbol.
Huh? Yeah, pagan symbol. But when you go around, what do married witnesses wear on their finger?
Well, that would be a wedding ring, but
And isn't that a wasn't that a pagan origin?
well, sure. But you
Yeah.
see, but you see, Jehovah's Witnesses were supposed to, you know, promote. They were supposed to promote the family unit
Mm-hmm.
at least.
Mm-hmm.
So they have to obey the laws of the land certain to a certain degree,
Mm-hmm.
and that was allowable.
Mm. Yeah, so the principle only applied to certain things. That you know, that's one thing I was saying, you know, and I asked the elder about that. He said, well, it don't mean the same as it does today. And I'm like, well, you know, Christmas don't mean the same thing as it did 2,000 years ago. You know what I'm saying?
Hmm.
The Saturnalia or the Mithra holiday, it's not the same thing. You know, it changes over time. Now the origin might be pagan, but the meaning changes. You know, it changes a lot. You know, like if you go to Sabbath the Jews when they took the Sabbath, that was originally the worship. That was originally the day of Saturn. You know what I'm saying? The Sumerians worship Saturn, and that day was set apart to Saturn. And if you look up the word Sabbath, it actually means Saturn. So sometimes even in the Bible, the meanings can be changed, you know. But witnesses they keep certain things and other things. That's what I'm talking about when I talk about hypocrisy. Why do they principle apply to some things and not other things? You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm
Hmm.
talking about. You know, it seems like more of a control, and you do it because we say so. That's all it is. We say so, and when we decide to change, then we will change. And you guys gotta stay in line until we do it. You know what I'm saying? What you see anything else like when it comes to pagan? Do you see anything else witnesses might do when it comes to pagan things that you say, okay, well, we can't do Easter or Christmas or Halloween. Why are we doing such and such? You ever see anything else like that?
Well, what I didn't really understand is how we could have a baby shower but not celebrate um, the birth every consecutive year after that.
Mm-hmm.
Why is that?
Yeah.
They would throw a baby shower, so once the baby's born, then what? We can kill it at any time.
Mm. Yeah,
You
yeah.
know,
That
ready to be ready to die in what a motor vehicle accident or some sort of an emergency situation that they require you know um, a blood intake decision.
mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah, that's
Well,
crazy,
Jesus'
man.
birth wasn't ever, even if it was the wrong date for Christmas, they didn't pick a date in October that they said it was. Well, why
Uh-huh.
not pick a date in October? I mean,
Yeah,
somebody can't die unless they're birthed.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Uh-huh. Exactly. Yep.
So they say, oh, well, Jesus' death was more important than his birth. Well, I don't, yeah, well, kind of, I guess, but not really.
Yeah. Yeah, not really. Yeah, yeah.
You can't have a death without
Yeah,
a
yeah,
birth.
yeah, yeah. The closing is more important than the opening. You can't have a
But
closing
such
unless
and
I'm
such,
open.
you're saying too much, so don't ask any questions.
Yeah, yeah,
Because if it doesn't make sense, well,
yeah, yeah.
get to the back
Yeah.
seat.
Yeah, it's a lot of funny things that go on there. Also,
Speaking of back seats, when we come time, I want to tell you a few experiences about the car groups. Okay, don't let me
oh,
forget.
okay. Oh yeah, 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 I want you. Okay, one more thing also, when it comes to blood transfusions.
Oh,
Um,
I didn't look up up the your video so that we could see the comments.
oh, yeah, I think
Do
it's
you have them
people. I
on?
don't think, yeah, yeah, it's on, but yeah, nobody's commenting. I don't know if you're in the room, say hi or something. Yeah, but yeah, nobody's. Like I said, just watching. Yeah, nobody's commenting right now. So yeah, I think you can
Okay.
see it on you can see it on your end if they come on.
Do you think
Yeah, you
they're
can see it on
clicked
your end.
in
They come on.
do you think they're clicked into the other um because if you have a reminder bell.
Hmm. Yeah, sometimes YouTube promotes it, sometimes it doesn't. I notice YouTube doesn't really promote a lot of stuff anymore. You have to monetize your video because I think YouTube gets like what 30% of whatever you get monetized. So if you don't monetize your video, they really care less. The only time they really care if you monetizing the video. I don't monetize my video, so it don't really promote it like it should. But I mean that's all right. It stays on. So yeah,
Because
I send it.
Daniel Morales said he was coming on.
Oh yeah. Oh okay.
He might pop in later.
Yeah, he might pop in. Okay.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm gonna send. I'm gonna send a comment right now. See if it comes on. Okay, there it is. B Buttercup is in the room, but my thing is not coming
Oh, I
on.
told her about it too.
Okay, yeah, B
Hello.
Yeah, B Buttercup. Do you see a comment on there?
Hold on. Hold on.
Yeah, I don't see a comment. Hold on, Pam. I'm gonna come back in. I'm gonna leave and I'm gonna come back in. All right.
Oh, okay. We're just setting up the show now.
Okay. All right.
Making sure that
All right. There it is. All right. Can you see him now? I see the comments on now. You see him? You might have to leave and come back in. But yeah,
oh,
I see.
do I? Okay.
Yeah.
I don't want to mess this up. How do
Yeah.
I
No, no
leave?
problem. I can just highlight him. But there you go. B Buttercup said hi. How you doing, B Buttercup? All right. It's six people in the room says on live. So yeah.
Oh, okay, I've
Live
got it.
stream.
I'm fine.
Yeah. Yeah, this program sometime it's kind of janky, so we'll get through it. But also I want to go through the blood transfusion. One thing hypocritical, and this is one thing I read when I was actually still in. Okay, when they talk about blood transfusions, you can't take fractions of blood, right? Eh, you can take fractions? No, you can't. What can when it comes to blood, what part of blood could you not take, Penny?
Oh, you put me on the spot here. So, plasma, I think, was
Plasma?
approved.
Yeah, yeah,
Red blood cells, no.
yeah. No blood, your red blood cells. No white blood cells.
I'm not sure about white. Um, Susan Gaskin did a good video about that, but
Hmm.
I have problems because trying to understand why we couldn't just use our own. Um,
Exactly. Yeah, yeah.
I can see if maybe we had a relative too that could had the same blood type as well. It's not. We used to understand that it
Okay,
was
here.
because
Yeah, keep talking, Penny. I'm finna see if I can share a
we
link
used to
to it.
understand that it was because we didn't we didn't trust the blood bank, that we didn't take blood. You know, we would never know if we were going to get Hep C or something like that.
Mm,
So if we couldn't even harvest our own blood in the event that, say, if we were giving birth or something, women were giving birth, which is very critical um, for requiring blood at the time when you're delivering, because
mm-hmm,
anything can happen. And
mm-hmm,
that would be the that would be the probably the most um, urgent need to stay alive, would be for the benefit of a child.
mm-hmm,
And not just that. I mean, if you die, you're not just leaving children or your baby, but you're also leaving your spouse.
mm-hmm.
So are women that dispensable? Really?
Hmm.
Yeah.
That's yeah. Hold on. Yeah, go ahead, keep talking, P. I'm trying to look something up. I'm looking something up as far as the prohibit. I'm trying to look something to see
So Bee
what's
Buttercup
prohibited.
is cooking.
Huh?
Um, if she feels that she could jump in whenever,
Okay. Oh, she
she's
would
more
like
than
to join it.
welcome.
Oh, she would be Becca would like to join the stream. Oh, all right. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna share the link. Hold on. B
What are you
Buttercup would like to
thinking
join.
about?
Yeah, she can come on, but give me 1 second. I got to give me 1 second. Hey, be the hey, I'm gonna leave my email. Send me email and I'll send you a link to your email. B Buttercup. I'm gonna leave my email in the chat and then send me email and I'll send you the link so you can come on. I'm putting my email right now.
For who?
B Buttercup.
Oh,
Yeah, she want to come on. Or whoever she or he, whatever she is. Um, yeah, send me an email and I will send you a link back through your email and you come on. But go ahead, keep talking, P. I'm trying to find out what Jehovah's Witness ban on blood is. 'Cause I know it's either components or fractions that witnesses can't take, and I want to show the hypocritical why that's very hypocritical.
well, let me just say that how is it that they can harvest now from hundreds of people blood fractions, but they can't take their own blood? It
Yeah, yeah.
doesn't make sense. Because when you require blood fractions for, say, cancer treatments that have blood fractions in them, uh, the uh, the fractions have to be harvested from many different donors. And Jehovah's Witnesses don't donate blood either. So um, how does that make even a bit of sense? We're we're okay to take blood fractions from people who aren't Jehovah's Witnesses, but people who are Jehovah's Witnesses are known to be non-smokers even. And when you take um, um, blood fractions from the general public, they wouldn't necessarily be non-smokers. They could even be a smoking group
Mm-hmm.
or
Okay.
individuals.
So Yeah, so it says fractions are derived from four primary blood components: red cells, white cells, platelets, and plasma. So yeah, these are what they say we can't take. Components, blood components. We can take minor fractions, but we can't take components. I don't even under the way they break stuff down like components. Like, was the Bible really that deep? You see what I'm saying, Penny? Was the
Don't,
Bible really that
yes,
deep?
I do.
When
Jumanji,
it's
they
yeah,
used to use the word abstain, and they would sit on that word, so that
yeah,
when we read the scripture, it says to abstain from blood. They sat and used that word.
yeah.
Well,
No, yeah.
I
I'm
told
saying
them
that.
when, but I told them that their logic was erroneous when they said, well, let's take an illustration. If the doctor said to abstain from alcohol,
Would you take it to your
you
vein?
wouldn't take it into your veins,
Yeah,
would you?
your vein. Yeah,
And I,
yeah, exactly.
when I called the branch office, I said, that is an erroneous illustration. I said, because you
Hmm.
don't require alcohol in your blood.
Yeah, yeah,
It's not a component of blood. So that
yeah,
is an erroneous illustration, which doesn't make
yeah.
any sense and doesn't prop
It,
up your um your doctrine.
yeah,
I
yeah,
said,
exactly.
if we required alcohol to stay alive, like we require blood to stay alive, then it would make sense, but we don't require alcohol to stay alive. So injecting it into our veins or taking it by mouth is two different things.
Yeah, yeah,
Now,
S-
um, um,
yeah.
ingesting blood or ingesting alcohol um, is two different things too,
Hmm.
for the exact reason I mentioned, because we
Hmm.
don't require alcohol uh, to keep us alive. As life, the Bible says that blood is life. Well, then, if blood is life, and they're taking blood into context, as the Apostle Paul was talking about, and it had um, connotations of um, sacrificing animals. Well, we don't do that anymore.
Hmm.
Now, maybe kosher, um, maybe kosher killing, let's call it kosher killing or halal killing of animals is very, very, it's horrible. I've seen pictures. It's really um, a bloodbath. It's a bloodbath. And we still eat it. We still eat animals that are killed that way. We don't
Yeah, yeah.
investigate and see how the animals were killed. I mean,
Uh-huh.
anybody can look, just Google that and click on images. Google halal or Google kosher animal um, killing, and you will see bloodbath. And that, in my opinion, is what
Hmm.
um, Jesus would be talking about. Is because those animals, well, they feel fear.
Hmm.
We feel fear. They feel fear. And what they do is they collect them all into even a group.
Hmm.
And of course, when animals are all collected together and they're all panicking and they smell blood and death, um, that's torture. And Jesus was for life, not torture. Um, we know that because when he was describing how the little ones were not to be abused or hurt. Just
Hmm.
because they're children doesn't mean they don't hurt.
Yeah. Well, here's what I'm talking about. Okay. I'm gonna share the screen again. Here's what I'm talking about. Um, Joe Winners, they go into deep. Okay. Unacceptable is these four components right here: red, white, platelets, and plasma. Now, when the Bible talks about saving blood, Paul, whoever wrote that or whoever said that, did not go that deep. Blood. He didn't say all this stuff. And the Watchtower made this whole little chart about what you can't take. The Bible just say blood. Man, back in the day, they would not worry about no white and all that other stuff. But here's the point I'm making about the hypocritical part, right? Witnesses can't take white blood cells, right? That's unacceptable.
What
But guess
scripture
what?
said that?
No, no, I'm saying this is the witness stance because they don't
Yeah.
use the scripture for this, okay? But guess what? Breast milk has white blood cells. So do
Hmm.
witness babies drink breast milk? If they do, they're violating the JW stance on whole blood or what's unacceptable. White cells is unacceptable to a Joe Winters to take, but yet they would breastfeed their baby. So you're breaking Joe Winters' law if you breastfeed your baby. It's a hypocritical thing. That's the point I was trying to make. You see what I'm
Yeah.
saying? So that's
Hmm.
that's a hypocritical stance. If you can't take components of blood, then your baby should not be breastfeeding. And that's what I'm saying. Why are you sitting there saying that you can't take blood components, but you breastfeed your baby?
But you know what? I'll tell you, there was a culture where in this area in the 60s and 50s and 60s there, when women stopped breastfeeding, they
Hmm.
pretty much stopped,
But
and
they do it. They
the
do it now.
formula
They feed them Similac. Yeah,
right.
yeah. They feed them Similac. Yeah. Hold
None
on,
of
Penny. I
my
want to.
mother's children even we never breastfed. My mother bottle fed us, so that means that we just held the bottle ourselves.
Yeah.
And
And you don't eat. But that's not good either because that's the first vaccine a baby gets is the breast milk. That gives you all
absolutely,
types of immunity and things like that. So any formula and thing that you're not giving your baby the natural vaccine or antibodies to fight
antibiotic.
diseases,
Mhm.
things like that. You see what I'm saying? But anyway, let me read these comments real quick, Penny. I'm gonna let you get back in. I don't want to ignore the people. So Anna Twink said, "Hi, how you doing, Anna Twink? I know I didn't last video. I
Oh,
didn't
there
get
she
to
is.
read her comments because
Hi, Anna.
I was going in and out my other video, but I figured I was wrong. Chrome will take a lot of your RAM on your computer. I don't know this new Chrome thing they got. It's take a lot of RAM on people's computers. So if you
Oh,
could, y'all would use another browser because Chrome they need to fix that. It takes a lot of RAM, so it slows your computer down. All right. So Anna Twink says, "I refuse blood myself." Hold on. Anna Twink says, "I refuse blood myself. I knew I could never refuse blood for my kids in the UK until they would get a court order for kids, but I didn't want to be a hypocrite. Yes, and you're gonna die in that. You know what I'm saying? I don't think that. I mean, blood is a life that's very necessary. The Bible, even if Joe Winters read the Bible, it says God wants a living sacrifice. How the hell are you gonna give a living sacrifice if you kill your doggone self? God wants a living sacrifice. If you don't take blood transfusion, you're not giving him a living sacrifice. You dead.
well, maybe they're talking about the children sacrificing.
Yeah, but even the children can be dead. He can't be living. Yeah,
Well,
Kim.
if you think about it, what I saw was that, oops, sorry, I just had a
Yeah, no.
message on
Kim
my.
F said. Kim F said she thought kosher meant better. What do you mean by kosher, Penny? Kim F said she thought kosher meant. She said she thought kosher meant better.
Kosher, kosher is the method of killing, so it would be a big, quick
Okay.
slit. Um,
Okay. So it's not organic. Kosher don't mean organic.
no, no,
Okay. Yeah.
doesn't
Yeah.
have
So
anything to do with what they
yeah.
what
Yeah.
they.
Yeah. Yeah. So maybe like that. Anna Penny said, I find. Can you see the comments, Penny, on
Okay,
your screen?
when
Or
you
do I?
uh, when you
Oh, when I
click on
share 'em?
Anna,
Oh, okay. So
no,
you
I've
can see
got
them.
on my computer. I've opened
Oh,
some.
okay, you can
Okay,
see them. Okay, you can see
yeah,
them. All
now I
right.
have. Sorry about that.
Okay, so Anna Twink said it's hard to find non-halal butchers in London. The few free-range organic regular butchers is expensive. Yeah, so Anna Twink, I guess, is in London down there.
But B Buttercup said Jewish people today, kosher laws are important. They go into their synagogue and hear verses about food laws in the Old Testament. They get programming in the synagogue.
So
Thanks.
they, so they going to. they going to a synagogue to learn about dietary things. Like that's what they learning.
Well,
All right, so we
they've got the Torah, right?
said yeah, yeah. I mean, dang, that's how they spend their whole time worrying about that. Yeah, they didn't have refrigeration back in the day, so you would have to worry about that. Today we got refrigeration, we worry about too much. We got to worry about what we eat. I mean, if you go in there,
V also continued. She said
be better because
she compared our programming in the Kingdom Hall. She said we got programming in the Kingdom Hall. It's all about what verses the leaders put on focus and repeat, and loop
oh,
and loop.
there you go. That's it right there. Yep, that's here because yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's the hypocriticalness that we only focus on what the leaders tell us to focus on.
You know,
So it's like
and
you could do stuff at home.
in the 60s. She said, and my mother did it too, about the powdered milk.
Hmm.
She said that they
Hmm.
got diarrhea and infections. Maybe it was just an experiment, um, because my mother's like she had a pediatrician for us kids, and he was against milk. I think because of the antibiotics
Hmm.
or something. But he was against it. So my mother thought that powdered milk was better. So we'd have to mix this powdered milk, and it just tasted like ugh, nobody drank it. Um, we would just evaporated from the fridge actually. And there was five
Well, I
of us.
mean, yeah, that mean it got some of that powder milk had lead a couple of years back. It had a lot of lead in it.
Lead in powdered milk? Is that what you said?
Yeah, yeah, it was a couple years ago. What did it have? Yeah, it was lead. Lead was in one of them powdered milks. I guess the can had lead that sipped in some of that powdered milk. So I had a recall on. I don't know the brand, but yeah, one of them things had lead in it.
I don't know anything about that.
Maybe.
All I know is that
Let me
we
see.
would use it for baking. Most of the time we poured it down the sink, down the sink drain. Um,
Okay. Yeah,
I
here
think it,
here it is. Go ahead. Keep talking. I'm gonna show you right now. Go ahead. Keep talking. Keep talking, Penny.
um,
I'm gonna take myself off
okay,
because I'm
so
distracted looking around.
I had your okay, I just have to refresh this window because your YouTube comments were here and then they just disappeared. Okay, we're back. Um, Anna Twink said God likes the smell of roast meat. Be better cup
Yeah.
said,
Wait.
remember when the animals got killed at the temple? It was a restful odor.
Mm,
Oh, oh, I don't even like to say that
mm.
name. Like, like he, like the smell.
Yeah.
Oh, you
Well,
girl.
yeah, it's kind of like Sodom and Gomorrah, right? In Sodom and Gomorrah, right? It
Yes.
said the odor reached God and incensed him. So yeah, the odor from Sodom and Gomorrah incensed him. Let me see. Okay, here. I hope my screen's not freezing. All right. Do I still sound good, Penny?
Yeah. There was a little bit of
Okay, good.
a distortion, but I think my picture isn't quite as clear as it ought to be.
Point this
Possibly.
link.
I'm on my cell phone. It might be
Okay.
the reason.
Yeah. 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 Yes. Sometimes cell phones can. Okay. So yes, I'm just putting up the link where it says that mercury and lead was found in baby formula. They tested it,
Oh,
and 80% of baby formula contains mercury and lead. Yeah. So if you out there, woman, and you got kids,
oh
man, the
my
best thing to do is
goodness.
breastfeed, man. Or
Does that mean that they were actually purposefully doing that, possibly?
I
Because
just
if
think
they were
the
getting,
container, I just think the container has the container that they put it in. You know, you don't put things in certain containers like plastic. Plastic
Yeah.
has a chemical when you heat it up it to your food. So I just eat the chemical. They use cheap containers that they're not supposed to put it in. But
Oh,
even still, we got I'm about to say we women have breasts for a reason, man, and that's to nurture and bond with your
well,
baby. You know what I'm saying?
I
And
had this
so
conversation
let
a
me
few days ago, and the heart is right behind the breast, right there, right? And the
hmm
heart has energy.
yeah.
The heart is.
hmm
I've seen a YouTube video, a couple of them, where babies actually started living again, or not again. They actually didn't respond to the doctor's coaxing to breathe. So
hmm
they understood that the baby was dead, and when the baby was held to between the parents, you know, tight and firm between the parents' hearts,
yeah.
the babies actually
It-
started living
huh?
because the heart
Yeah.
has
We
energy,
buy them.
electricity.
Believe
If
it.
there's all of our organs
Yeah.
have energy and a psychology.
Exactly. Yep. Exactly. It sure does. Energy, magnetism, electricity, all that stuff. Yeah, you was here's the
I
link right here.
I
I'm
remember
gonna
an
show you.
article in the Awake magazine talking about a nurse who this was proving how important nurturing was. Apparently, a nurse at the end of her shift, or not a nurse. I think somebody who cleaned. It could have been a nurse who was cleaning, or just a cleaner. But at the end of her cleaning routine, she would stop at the last baby and hold the baby while she sat down for break or rest. And
Mm-hmm.
when
Yeah, I remember that.
she did that, the babies that were in that uh, allegedly in that crib, or how do you say, um, that bed, the little um, bassinet type hospital bed for the baby, would do the best there. So you see, we had. Oh, I want to tell you something. I want to tell you something about nurturing now that we're talking about it. And
Huh? Oh, you can't.
my my brother is 5 years was 5 years younger than me. He's no longer alive. But my sister and I were at school first, half day for me when he was born. I would only go to school half day, so I came home at lunchtime and every day. But he would be in his crib, and I don't know how many hours a day he'd be in his crib. But he developed rocking to as a maybe a comforting type of activity. So he would rock and bang his head up against the bed, the crib, and he got a big goose egg on the back of his head because I don't know for how many hours he would sit and bang his head against the crib. Well,
Hmm.
he didn't get any nurturing. There, us girls were at school, and
Mm-hmm.
so um, my mother, my parents, they decided to get him like a jolly jumper, and what it was a bungee
Mm-hmm.
cord on a seat, and he
Yeah,
would
yeah.
just
Mm-hmm.
hang there for hours. Well, okay, so you don't leave your kid in the crib for hours and hours. You just hang the
Mm-hmm.
baby for hours and hours. I guess that's a lot
Bungee
better.
cord. Yeah. Yeah. That's
And
good.
then
Yeah. It's
there
a
was
free
nothing. There was
babysitting, I guess.
neglect. Jumanji, it was neglect. I'm sorry, it was.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. 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 Some people don't need kids. I hate to say some people don't need no kids.
And my mother had
Yeah.
my mother had five. Yeah. and she let us
Yeah,
know that
yeah.
she didn't want to have any. So,
Hmm. Yeah. So look, animatronics are using JWs as guinea pigs for the military, trying to develop blood substitutes for the front line.
oh, that's interesting. That's very
Yeah.
interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting.
Because I know that we know that Watchtower has um, shares in Rand, and Rand is military. Also, it
Hmm.
includes training, military training. So if
Hmm.
we had five or three meetings, well, 5 meetings a week, 3 days a week. 2 meetings were 2 hours long. One meeting was the book
Hmm.
study, 1 hour long. Then we had
Yeah.
the service groups. So if we were
Yeah.
regular attenders like my father was, my mother just she was the one that dragged us into that society. But
Hmm.
um,
Yeah.
I understand that JWs were just um, guinea pigs for the scientific community, and because I've seen a link to a scientific investigating, you know, they were doing research into blood and blood machines. Actually, they're trying to develop blood that is synthetically made,
Mm.
and I've seen that. So if JWs are now on a synthetic blood list, well, how do you make synthetic blood?
Mm.
It would be from stem cells. Is that not true?
Yeah. Yeah. Most likely. Yeah. But I mean, yeah,
Um,
it would have
why
to be.
why would
I mean, shoot, that. Yeah.
JWs the only population? Well, like they said, the only population to refuse military service. So JWs would just sit in prison for the sake of having an opposition to military service. So they were the ones. Okay, adults, you do what you want to do,
Hmm.
but don't drag kids into this. You know,
Hmm. Yeah.
and
Yeah. That's
other
ridiculous.
people.
And I mean, I mean, could you imagine though you let your child die and then you found out this wasn't the truth? How guilty you would be after you left? Could you
I've had
imagine that?
conversations with people, former Jehovah's Witnesses, who did in fact let their children die, and there is
And they left.
videos of uh, former Jehovah's Witnesses who almost did and produced
Hmm.
videos based on those circumstances. But I know when my daughter needed an
Wow.
operation, it hit me like a ton of bricks. And thank goodness I wasn't close to the congregation because I didn't tell anybody that, well, I didn't really even know to tell anybody, but I didn't, that she was having an operation. And
Mm.
when I had to talk to you know the medical staff about that, it just felt like a hammer was just hit up against my head.
I would bet,
So
man. I would imagine. Yeah. 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 It's good you didn't tell though, because that Suicide Squad would have came in there and tried to talk to the doctor. You know why I say Suicide Squad? The
yeah,
hospital liaison committee. You know what I'm saying?
that's
Come in
right.
there, walking inside like they some doggone man in black, telling you what you're not gonna take. I remember when I went to the hospital, man. This dude, as I said in one of my videos, man, he was about to walk in the surgery room with me. He was so focused on me. He was about to walk in the doctor. The doctors actually had to hold him back. He asked him, "Do I have the card? Do I have the blood card?" He was so far he forgot that he can't go in the.
Blood
He
card,
about to
you
walk
mean?
in the doggone surgery room with me, huh?
Are you talking about the blood
He
card?
was, yeah, blood card. And so it's like while they finna take me in to get surgery, he walking into surgery. And you got the blood card, and like my mind is not even on it. Mind thinking like, man, what's going on? You know what I'm saying? What's going on? Because I think I just woken up. What's going on? He like, you got the blood card. He asked us so much. He about to walk in the doggone surgery room, asking to get the blood card. Like, dude, at this point, if I got a nut, it's too late. They gonna do what they need to do. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I can guarantee this dude would have held a surgical knife. This is how I was trying to cut
Jumanji.
my stomach over. He would have a surgical knife. Oh no, wait a minute. He got the blood card. Don't cut his stomach over with the blood card.
Blood
You
card.
know what I'm saying?
No blood card.
Yeah, no blood card. Yeah,
So you so you were the population that had to refuse it, and you didn't know that you were just a guinea pig for their program. It's a society. It's not a religion. It's just a group of people. Like if you have a
yeah,
petition and you say, "Oh, we
yeah, yeah,
can't,"
yeah,
a bunch of neighbors get together and say, "We don't want this bylaw." So the bylaw is written, and the reason why you're objecting, and you get several hundred or people to sign the petition um, uh, in
mm-hmm,
objection to the bylaw. And it's the same with JW. They use their population to say we are going to object to military service, or we're going to object to treatment with blood. But I wanted to mention that
mm-hmm,
I saw this website where it showed that there were a population in China of people who were, and I can't remember the name of the religion now, but they were like a Buddhist, very
mm-hmm,
were a pacifist cult, and they were
mm-hmm,
sent to prison. They were actually sent to prison because they refused to fight, and those
mm-hmm.
people getting killed, and their organs were being used and sold and used for people who needed hearts, because
Yeah,
when you need a heart, that heart has to be next to alive.
mm-hmm,
So the
mm-hmm,
human being has to be alive when it's harvested. And
mm-hmm,
also I know from the Ukraine during the military conflict within the last several years now, people
mm-hmm.
are harvesting. Doctors in training are harvesting organs from people who they're killing. They have a quota and they have to meet a list of organs to harvest. I've seen this. I've seen this documentation. I've seen videos of testimonies of people who declared that this was the orders that they received. So
Mm-hmm.
people are actually
Okay.
being abused. Religious people who refuse military service. If they go to prison, they're owned. They're the
Mm-hmm.
property of the prison of the state.
Yeah,
So
yeah, most definitely. Yeah,
state,
you lose
if
your rights.
they're
You
if
lose
they're
your rights. You
going
can go to
against the
prison.
state's rules, who's to say that it wasn't happening to
Yeah,
Jehovah's Witnesses too? They want Jehovah's Witnesses that don't
yeah.
smoke. They want a clean heart or clean lungs or whatever they need.
Mm, yeah. Yep.
So
So yeah. I hear you. So what? Speaking of hospitals, I want to touch on this also. When Joe went to say you can't join the YMCA, right? Can't join the YMCA, right?
well, you know what it
Why?
stands
Why
for.
is that?
What does it
Yeah,
stand
Young
for?
Man Christian Association, but
YMCA,
Youth Man
Young
Christian
Men's
Association.
Young Men's Christian
Yeah,
Association,
Christian
and
Christian
YWCA
Association. Okay, so
is Young Women's Christian Association.
yeah, young women. Yeah. So why join a YMCA, right? Why couldn't they do that?
Well, we were given the reason that we don't have um, anything to do with worldly organizations. That's why we were told that we
Okay. I
could
thought
join brownies or Girl Guides or other groups like that. But
okay. I thought it's
I
because
know,
well, I thought
I
it's
know
because it was a Christian organization. I thought it because it belonged to a
it's
Christian
still Christian.
organization. That's why we could. Yeah, yeah.
No, I
So
we don't like those Christian kind of
so
people.
yeah, yeah, yeah. So here's my thing. Here's the hypocriticalness about that. When you can't join the YMCA because it's a Christian association or it's owned by a Christian association. A Jehovah's Witness will be quick to go to Mercy General Hospital, right? Which is a Catholic hospital, right? St. Jude's Catholic Hospital, right? Shriners, all these things are Christian hospitals. A Jehovah's Witness will go to one of these, but turn around and say, "Oh, don't go to a doggone YMCA." You see what I'm saying? The hypocriticalness. Like, why is one good and not the other?
Right. So there was something
Yeah, yeah.
behind them. They weren't telling us because
Hmm.
if we keep in mind that it was a society, just a group of
Hmm.
people who were bent on a cause, whatever that cause was on any given day when the new light comes or starts shining in the window or from the platform. Um, that group of people had to jump on the bandwagon. They had to jump into the cause of the day. And because the blood doctrine has changed over time, that means that people have um, actually died uh, obeying the rules. I spoke with a gentleman, a former JW, just 2 days ago, I think it was, or a day ago, and he described that his mother died in '77 in her mid to late 30s only. He was in his teens or thereabouts, and she relinquished her life based on her need for an organ. Organs were considered cannibalism to uh, uh, to accept an organ transplant, and
Hmm.
it's happened. My brother relinquished his life because he needed a heart. But who's see in Ontario, you people fill out their a portion of their driver's license and decide if they're going to donate an organ or not. So there's
Hmm.
nobody being forced to donate an organ. But if it's in a country like say the province or the state that you're in is buying these organs from China, from the prisons to keep people in the United States or Canada alive, what is that saying? So if the
Hmm.
organization is trying to do a um, a virtuous thing by just telling people, okay, so the order of the day is now we accept organ transplants, but we didn't really have a good understanding before. So this is politics. What are they
Hmm.
doing with First Nations
Yeah.
people
So
now? Are these missing women going missing because they're being sold into sex slavery, or because um, somebody wants blood, or because somebody wants an organ?
hmm.
And Kevin Annett was saying that there is trading going on in Vancouver
Mm,
at the docks. Let's say.
mm. Yeah. Yeah. No, I was just looking up on what Anna Pink was talking about the hemopure and biopure, which is blood make. I was looking that up. Um, okay, yeah. She asked. Twink asked, did let me see. Hold on for a minute. It's slow. Hold on.
Orphan Crow, she
Why is it
said,
not
a
coming?
member of Jehovah's Witnesses.com is a real expert. She had a baby at 16 and her JW mom refused blood for him. As she was a minor, he almost died.
Yeah, Twink said, did you know HLC began in Canada?
Um, I'm sorry, I didn't hear that. Did you know HLC began in Canada? I'm going to ask what HLC is now. Hold on. HLC. Maybe Anna, if you could just tell us what that acronym is.
Yeah, not sure what that is. Okay. I don't know. I actually sent an email. She didn't send an email, so yeah, maybe she
I
can.
don't know
If
if
you send an
it's on
email, I'll
my
get you
database.
on.
Oh, Hospital Liaison Committee. Okay. Yes, actually,
Oh, okay.
I think I did know the Hospital Liaison Committee. And I want to just mention here and now that there is an elder who was in my congregation when I was little, who works in the major hospital in Toronto. I ran into him,
Mhm.
and he wears a digital key for the database. And he was telling one of the volunteers when I was in the spiritual room, he was telling one of the volunteers that he has access to the database. So whoever is Jehovah's Witness. But that same elder, let me just also state here, was working in the field of paramilitary because he was an expert in Wi-Fi. If you look on, if you look up Wi-Fi on the internet and 5G, you will see how it sterilizes um, children. So it's in the schools and it's in the kingdom halls. It's also in churches now too. So he was Barry Trower, Trower, um, was is an expert, and he declares the dangers of Wi-Fi. So if JWs are being zapped with Wi-Fi constantly, even in the schools and at the kingdom halls, um, this is why are they sterilizing the children? It's called genocide. And the hospital liaison committee, back to that, he said that it wasn't hospital liaison committee, it was hospital, it was a different term when I was talking to him a year ago. It was a different term. Now this elder is 85 years old and he's in the hospital every single day. And he was in my congregation way up north. And he moved even further up north to work in the paramilitary field of what microwaves. These people
Hmm.
know what they're doing.
Hmm. Oh yeah, most definitely. Yeah. Yeah, most definitely, man. They know what they're doing. They're not dumb.
It's very scary. And he asked
Yeah.
me what I was doing there. And of
Mm-hmm.
course, I didn't disclose my personal information.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
But I did tell him
All right.
that
Oh.
he was a survivor.
Hmm.
And then he wanted my parents' names and my brother's name who passed away.
Mm-hmm.
And then after he got that information, then he asked for mine, and I I just kept talking around it. Never gave it to
Hmm.
him.
Yeah. 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 That's none of his business. What do you need that for? He not no FBI, nothing. So another thing, I want to talk about one
Well,
more thing about it.
they are a watchtower. They are working as watch people. They're
Yeah,
called
but I mean,
Jehovah's Witnesses. They're called witnesses. Witnesses for who and for what reason?
yeah, but I'm saying that they ask for your name. What you need my name for? I mean, who are you? You're
They
not,
were the ones, Jumanji, they were the ones that lobbied for surveillance, not against surveillance, but for surveillance.
yeah,
Because
yeah.
they didn't lobby against it, then they're for the New World regime. Because they're
Hmm.
working towards a New World religion, right?
Hmm.
Agenda 21
Yep.
explains that.
Hmm. Yep. All right. So
Mm.
I want to go through another one. As far as okay, they tell us to pay our taxes, right? The watchtower. They always tell us we have to pay our taxes. Make sure you're honest on your taxes, right? So why did they apply for the 501c where they don't pay their taxes? I mean, was Jesus didn't Jesus pay didn't Jesus pay his taxes? How are you? I'm
I think
saying that
Jesus was
this is the
self-employed, wasn't he?
well, yeah, but he
Was
still
Jesus
paid his taxes.
self-employed?
He still yeah, well, he still paid taxes. He still told Peter to pay his taxes. They all paid taxes. He said, "Pay things to Caesar." Jesus was not tax exempt. He paid to the thing. He said that God did not have to pay taxes, but still he told the people to pay taxes. He sent money to the temple to pay the tax. So my thing is, why, if these are last days, why are you signing up for non-exempt tax? If these are last days, why you worry about tax? I mean, tax you pay it what once a year as far as they do an annual tax thing. So if the end could come tomorrow, why are you tax exempt? You ain't got to worry about that. Just go ahead and pay. You know what I'm saying? They know it's not the end. So we're gonna do tax exempt as long as this system ride out. You know what I'm
Well,
saying? If I know something
the
coming to an end
Watchtower
tomorrow, I'm
has
not
to
worried about
push.
taxes.
Watchtower has to push the local government policies. But who's to say paying
Hmm.
taxes was Caesar's? How is that? How is paying taxes Caesar's? Who was
Oh, tax?
Did Caesar own people? Well, then
Well, no.
how is
Caesar,
it
Caesar
that
was a
Caesar could
well,
own people?
Caesar became anonymous with the position of the government or the Roman emperor. It's like, yeah, so yeah, the taxes is like the federal wage for the governor and things like that. So yeah, Caesar was just not. It's like it
But
became anonymous with the
if the policy of the country, if the policy of the country
yeah.
is to allow people to die by physician death, mentally ill who are not protected here,
Hmm.
and this is this is this is saying we go along with that.
Hmm.
So Caesar says, okay, we can kill whoever we want to, even the First Nations people.
Hmm.
But if that's against my morality,
Hmm.
then I shouldn't have to pay taxes because that's not my principles.
Hmm.
And it wasn't Jesus' principles either. So,
Yeah,
according to the apostles' writings about Jesus. So,
yeah. Well, yeah, I know there's a some taxes can be corrupt, but they do a lot of they do pay different for different things in the community and the nation. Some of it can be mishandled, but a lot of things do go to, as far as America is supposed to keep. There's a budget that pays for it keeps the poverty line from being a third world country. They'll have social services that's paid for by taxes, or civil servants that's paid for by taxes. So
okay.
it's a little
So
benefit
Jehovah's
to it.
JWs will dump their own members onto the social network before they'll
Yeah, yeah.
even look
Oh
after
yeah.
their own.
Yeah, yeah, most definitely. That's why it shouldn't be a
So,
501c. That's why they should not be a 501c if they doing that. Yeah,
but that
they
means
should
that
not be a 501c.
they're proving that they're proving that Caesar is not looking after their own. So if say
Hmm.
I'm dumped onto because I'm in a say I was disabled because of a motor vehicle accident and the insurance company isn't paying me for income replacement. So I go to the elders and I tell them I explain to them, okay, well there's a problem because the insurance company is um, negligent in providing me what I need based on my paying into insurance. So they point over to the social assistance office and they say, well, talk to them about it because the Watchtower Charter doesn't say that they're feeding people. It only says that they're
Hmm.
preaching to people.
Hmm. Yeah.
And how can they improve the lives of men, women, and children when they're being killed through and
Hmm.
deprived and neglected through the worldly social network, social
Hmm.
net, social safety net?
Hmm. Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's
That's
hypocrisy
double
there
talk.
too.
Yeah. It's hypocrisy. You say one thing and mean something else. Yeah. I mean, you can't. To be some people who were drug addicts and things like that, when they started produce better results. And I mean that's any religion. Any religion can help a person if they're on a different road. A lot of times they join the religion and they get off of that road. To be fair, you see what I'm saying? But when they say improve lives, even after you leave the program, your mental state should still be good. People who leave your witness, a lot of times leave with depression and things like that. See what
That's
I'm saying?
right.
Improve life would be whether you improve life, rehabilitation is not just because while you're in this. Rehabilitation is after you leave this, you'll be good. So improve life when it talks about the charter and things like that, even those winners who leave it, they should not be in a state where they feel like they got to kill themselves or they feel that something's going to destroy them at the end.
Right.
Yeah. So
Right.
yeah, B. Buttercup said if churches, let me see, if churches were rerouted into business category taxes, good works that are tangible could be tax exemption. Yeah. Yeah, most definitely. Yeah, most definitely.
Right. And so
Yeah, I see. I see the benefit of a tax exempt because if you creating a charity and I'm doing a charity and everything is out of pocket. If I have to pay taxes, that's not gonna help my program. That's gonna help my charity. So if you give me tax exemption, then yeah, the money I'm paying in taxes, it can go to furthering that charity. I see the non-exempt, but don't sit there and
but
lie and
look at
say I'm helping the community out.
the people who are paying the tax is the church members. So they're
Mhm.
paying a tithe or they're paying contributions, but they're also paying tax when they're buying something or when they're
Yeah.
paying when they make an income. So they're paying tax everywhere, but it's the religion, the corporate religion, that doesn't have to pay the tax. They get the tax
Mhm.
exempt.
Mhm. Yeah, most
So,
definitely. Yeah.
but it's the
But
little
also,
poor
also,
people that are paying double the tax, at least double.
yeah. But also, when you do donate, you can write that off on your tax thing too. So it kind of go, it's kind of like a two thing. When you donate or you do these, you can write that off to the thing. Yeah, go ahead, keep speaking, Penny. Go ahead. I'm listening. I know.
Oh, okay. So, Anna Twink said that Jesus paid taxes, but the Watchtower doesn't. Um, well, but I don't know, Anna. How do we know that Jesus paid taxes? We don't know. Maybe if they were doing that, maybe if the powers that be in the government were hurting his little ones and causing people to fall into poverty, orphans and widows, then would he be paying taxes? He would be paying taxes if they're doing what he wanted them to do, but he denounced them. I don't remember ever reading that he actually paid taxes. He said pay back Caesar's things to Caesar and God's things to God. Well, what are God's things? I mean, in my mind, God's things are life, human beings and animals, everything that has to do with life. Maybe it's money, um, Caesar's things, but Caesar, well, we have to really understand who was behind the economic system back then too, and it was a Zionist type regime. because they weren't looking after widows and orphans. Why would they have to look after widows and orphans? Well, because people were making money off of them just being alive. And if they didn't have a man to protect them and the laws didn't protect them, then it had to be up to the congregation of of God's people or Jesus followers to be able to come up and help them, those who were making money, because the economic system at that time was creating the poverty and then punishing people because they created the poverty. So there, we're gonna fix you. We're gonna give you a fine because you couldn't pay this fine. And that's what they do now.
All right. Hey, Penny. All
You've got
right.
a family member.
Yeah, yeah. I got to do something, so we probably we probably got to do a part 3. When you
Okay.
finish, I want to get it more into this. But yeah, it's good stuff, man. I'm probably have to and yeah, be better. 'Cause I don't know. She can send me. Be better. You want to get on, man? Send me an email. We'll link up and do something. I
Yeah.
sent. I put my link. I put my link right here again. And yeah, we'll try to get. We'll do it. Finish again. We'll talk about the back seat. The backseat what do you call them, the field service group
Group.
backseat chronicles.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll do that next. So yeah, all right. But yeah, anybody wants to hop on and discuss JW business, anything, man, hit me up in my email. I think I spelled that right. Yep. And we'll
Do
send you a
everything,
link, man. So yeah,
Andre.
yeah, we'll get back together. All right, Penny. I got to do something right now. Um, and I want to thank you coming
Okay.
on. All right. Thank you, Penny. You have a good one.
Be well. Bye.
You too. Bye bye. All right. Thanks for everybody watching, man. We'll see y'all later. I know.